The booth is almost ready. But you know, Andrew, it isn't the booth. It's the opening of my heart. That's all it is. All the structural stuff is there. What structural stuff isn't there is just a matter of problem solving. But none of it amounts to a hill of beans if I can't or won't or don't open my heart. Because when you say, Jeremy, I think all you should do on TikTok is talk about love, I hear you loud and clear. It resonates and rings in my core. But it's the hardest thing for me to do. Because A, I know that's my true power. And B, that's what got me shattered. That makes it a clusterfuck whirlwind. Every time I go into it, it spits me out. Going back in right now. In it right now. We'll see what happens this time. And I have an idea for a way to talk about love right now. A little story piece. Combined with the conceptual notion. And it's never gonna happen if I don't do it, so I just gotta keep trying. So here's another try. So at some point in my, I don't know, somewhere in my 20s, during that part of the journey, I would say middle to later 20s, I came across this idea that my dad had forged in regards to how one passed or moved or crossed into the state of love, and how the words which one used were quite important, in fact. And the way that I recall is that he'd had a deep love that had broken up in ways that had really broken him up. And as he emerged from that, putting himself back together, he thought, that was not nice. And part of the reason that happened was because of this kind of headlong plunge, this falling into love, as the phrase would have it, that I did. And so this time, or coming up, or from now on, I will practice a different kind of movement into love, and I will think of walking into love, and I will feel myself as walking into love, not falling into love, which is this delirious, swirly, eyes closed, passion takes me, because love is too powerful to be entered so foolishly, without attention to what one is entering. And this is what leads to heartbreak, and this is what leads to so many things that stem from that and come from that cause deep problems in self and in others around self and in world around self. So my dad coined for himself this idea of walking into love. taking away the phrase falling in love or I fell in love and saying instead, I'm walking into love, I walked into love. Meaning at a steady pace with eyes open, paying attention to one's surroundings. And when I came across that, I thought, this is remarkable because this is the same thing that I did. But in my case, it's a very different story because of the sort of love that I walked into and chose to walk into. This is 100% of you or this is none of you sort of stakes of that love, of that relationship. And I think it's important to understand that I didn't go in it for the strong feeling. And then I went into it after having a paralytic physical breakdown and having to make a choice. My body knew and it told me, and I was clear the whole time. And I remember as we went further, and I knew that as we were getting deeper into the core of what this was, what our goal was, what our mission had become, that we were moving further and further away from the world, further and further away into this undiscovered country. And I remember when I realized that she should move in with me, and that it was the only thing that made sense. And I remember stopping and looking at it and pausing and recognizing that no one else would understand and it would look crazy to an outside world, but that I didn't have the time or the capacity to explain. But this was the right thing to do, the rational course of action. And I knew the danger. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. I knew how dangerous it was. And I wasn't stubborn and I wasn't rash. I said, so be it. And that's the choice I've already made. And that's love. And I did get shattered.